You don't want this. You want to see this, but trust me, you do not want this. You're gonna see me a side of me you have never seen before. Even worse than Home Alone 4. Ugh. This is the top 25 worst SpongeBob episodes. Before I start this list, I'm just gonna point out that there's not gonna be any pre-movie episodes on this list. You may say that they're almost as bad as the post-movie episodes, but trust me, the post-movie episodes are even more worse than the pre-movie episodes. And I'm not gonna review all the post-movie episodes on this list. There's some episodes I have to leave out in order to get this list complete. And oh boy, I'm going to regret it, and you're going to see a side of me you will never see before. There's going to be a lot of anger, yelling, and especially the episodes. If you guys aren't prepared for this, then just click away, because trust me, you're going to witness of how bad this show has become. Number 25. Giant Squidward. This episode starts with SpongeBob and Patrick just goofing around, and Squidward uses spray thing to get his plants back up, and he uses the spray to spray Patrick's ice cream. And in case if you don't know, something bad is about to happen. They accidentally use the spray to make Squidward's nose bigger, and then they try to fix it, but in order to do that, they made all of Squidward's body parts even more bigger. Oh boy. They completely made Squidward a giant. Now why is it on the worst list? Because later in this episode, the townspeople of the Bikini Bottom are completely idiots. In case if you don't know, everyone in this show is now idiots in the new episodes. And the reason is because of a kid saying that monster in the book isn't a very dangerous monster. He's actually a nice monster. You're listening to a kid who could be insane. I know kids aren't very intelligent, but why would the townspeople agree with a kid? Seriously, just why? And most of this episode is just Squidward taking care of the townspeople until someone sneezed and the audience expected God bless you from Squidward, but he said what? And they start to attack him. Really? He didn't know he was supposed to say God bless you. Can one of you guys do it? And also, a person not saying God bless you is a reason for you to attack him? Seriously? That isn't rude. In fact, I don't think he didn't need to say God bless you. He doesn't have to do everything. Seriously, where's your limits? Anyway, Squidward is completely upset that he's gonna stay big forever, and SpongeBob and Patrick decides to help him go back to the way he is, but there is one problem with that. They have to cut Squidward's plants in order to make a giant coronet for him to get him the size that he is before. And that's how the episode ends. This episode was completely boring and unwatchable. The plot of Squidward being a giant doesn't do anything to the story, and I can understand that Squidward has every right to be furious at SpongeBob for making him big, but he isn't happy for SpongeBob and Patrick turning them to normal size. I mean, I know they cut down his plants, but it's the only way. Number 24. Welcome to the Bikini Bottom Triangle. This is one of the legends of the Bikini Bottom. And out of all the legends of the Bikini Bottom episodes, this one just feels like the most boring and the most uninteresting. Well, for another episode, but the other episode is going to be on this list as well. Anyway, this episode is about that everyone's stuff in the Bikini Bottom is completely lost because of some vocal music. We'll get into this later, just give it more time. the other characters get sucked into a different island filled with a bunch of stuff. And this is called the Bikini Bottom Triangle. We're only 3 minutes into this episode and I'm already bored. The reason why all of this is happening is because of 5 mermaids who just want to get something out of the Bikini Bottom because they're completely bored. SpongeBob says that, is there a way to go back to the Bikini Bottom with all those stuff? And the mermaids say, that's not our problem. For an episode about the legends of the Bikini Bottom, these mermaids are really nothing special or legendary. Paul talks to the mermaids about the mall, which is the coolest thing ever, and they have the idea to sing the music backwards. Yep, completely backwards. Which makes everything back to where it was. And that's it. I'm not kidding, that's really it. There's also a character who appears in this episode, but all he ever talks about is the Bikini Bottom Triangle, and Mr. Krabs thinks that Plankton might be making the Krabby Patties, but that guy was making the Krabby Patties all along. These characters have no purpose in this episode. The mermaids were boring, the other character was unnecessary, and it's just there to talk about the triangle, and there's really nothing legendary about this episode. It just really isn't. The Legends of the Bikini Bottom episodes are completely not helping this show at all. I mean, it's better than any of the offensive and most unbelievable stuff that this show can do, but that can't save the show. Anyway, the next entry is going to be very personal, but I'll explain why. Number 23, Squidward School for Grownups. If you want to know why I really hate this episode, and it's very personal for me, it's because of the grown-up attitude in this episode. Now, I know some people might like this episode, but for me, it really isn't. Why? You may have not noticed, but this is a Patrick's joke episode. You just pretty much don't see it closely. Because Patrick completely abandons SpongeBob because he has a beard and he's a grown-up like Squidward, even though that Squidward has no reason to go in front of SpongeBob and Patrick and talk to them about how to be a grown-up. I mean, I know that SpongeBob said that Patrick is a grown-up because of the beard, but seriously? And also, this episode is just mean-spirited. I mean, I know that's what grown-ups are like, but to me, what I hate about grown-ups is their attitude. Even if Squidward is just trying to be mature and SpongeBob isn't, just doesn't really work. Even if SpongeBob and Patrick may annoy Squidward at the beginning of this episode, that doesn't mean that Patrick should literally abandon him. In fact, Patrick just completely forgets that SpongeBob is his best friend. And it just really doesn't work like that. Even when SpongeBob tries to take the beard off of Patrick, Squidward even says, you obviously don't know what it's like to be a grown-up. He wants his friend back. What do you think? Seriously, if I was SpongeBob, I would just give him a piece of my mind. I know that the grown-up thing is supposed to be something that this episode is trying to teach, but I just don't like it for that reason. I just don't. I hate grown-up attitudes. I'm looking at you, Adventure Time PB. Apparently, the beard on Patrick's face was actually a sea urchin who slept on his face. And that's how the episode ends, when Squidward just destroys the play. I know I didn't talk about a lot about this episode, but the rest of this episode is just Patrick being a jerk to SpongeBob. Seriously, grown-up saying stuff to that to people who kind of be immature but still nice just doesn't work. Even with annoying characters like SpongeBob doesn't deserve this kind of punishment. Even the ending when Squidward gets his punishment just isn't good enough. My God, I really hate grown-ups. Even if I may be a grown-up man, but I'm not fully normal. Anyway, what's the next episode? Number 22. Oh boy. Now we're getting to one of the worst Patrick's a Joke episodes, and we already just started. And this also makes the critics in this episode completely awful. Really bad. When Patrick just makes a walk with googly eyes, prepare yourself for one of the most dumbest critics you ever see in any other cartoon like this. The critic actually ignored the sculpture that Squidward made that is actually 100 times better than what Patrick made. Actually goes to Patrick and see what he made, and he thinks it is pure art. I'm not kidding. Oh my god. Oh man. Ugh. Where do I even begin with this? Like, seriously. They make these critics in this cartoon completely idiots. I mean, they're treating the audience so stupid that they think they can go along with this, but in reality, they don't. And I didn't. We're only halfway into this episode, and trust me, half of this episode just gets even more worse. Patrick is just a complete jerk in this episode. I mean, he thinks that he's a great artist, even better than Squidward, and even though Squidward is a way better artist than everyone else, everyone thinks that he is a terrible artist. If this is how reality works, well, it isn't. In fact, it's the opposite. Squidward gives him art lessons, and Patrick just makes a Krabby Patty with googly eyes on it, and that's it. Even the critic, the exact same critic in this episode, actually think that that is just pure art. What is with these guys in this show? Like, seriously, why would the wise make them this completely stupid? Oh my god. And apparently, Patrick is making money off of this by giving the Krabby Patty googly eyes to everyone. Mr. Krabs was about to punish them, but when Patrick says that it was all Squidward's idea, Squidward gets punished instead. And the episode ends with Patrick saying to Squidward, if maybe one day you'll be an artist, but when he looks at the Krabby Patty, he said, probably not. In case you haven't heard that, that was my hand hitting my forehead. Where do I even begin with this episode? Everyone is an idiot! That's all I have to say. That's literally all I have to say. Everyone is a complete idiot in this episode. They completely ignore Squidward's art and just go to Patrick, who isn't even an artist to begin with. Oh, my god. Ugh, I really got nothing to say about it. Everyone's an idiot. Everyone's an idiot! I'm gonna be yelling a lot. And trust me, I'm gonna yell even more louder later.